Hello again, and thank you for watching Self-Critical, where a group of agoraphobic friends come together to RP actually going outside. I'm your humble Dungeon Master, Andy, and this is our group of hapless heroes. Say hello again, hapless heroes.
Hello, hapless heroes.
Last time we left off, I believe we were in or exiting a carnival tent that was not in use at the time, except for being a cushion for a group of gnomes who happened to have tumbled off of a rolling ball into it whenever they were in the midst of a secret conversation between themselves and a kinku, and then shortly after was included with a bugbear named Hurley, who was on his way to find you on behest of the owners of the carnival, Mr. Witch and Mr. Light, to invite you to a conversation to thank you for what you have done so far. In this moment, the beginnings of a plan, at least, were formed, and in preparation of going to meet with Mr. Witch and Mr. Light in the staff area, upon exiting the tent, one of you, Delana, happened to have noticed amongst the shadows a particular young elven lady who befell a bit of misfortune. Would you like to go ahead?
Told me, remind you about me rolling a 1 last week.
Okay, thank you very much.
Shame on you.
If you would like to pick up, what do you remember about this? And in this moment, as this lady is standing there, just sort of listless, slowly coming in and out of consciousness, what would you like to do?
I would like to go up to her.
Okay.
I want to ask her what it was that was in her hair, and that I saw it get taken with a gray shadowy figure
Okay,
that
so
took it.
you guys see Delana sort of break off to the side a little bit. You guys are near the mysterious mine, pretty far bit from the staff area, and so she breaks off, and you see her begin talking to this young elven woman. At first, she seems completely unaware of your attention, but as you begin to try to get her attention, she quickly comes out of it, back to a conscious state. And when you question her about the thing in her hair, she instinctively reaches up and realizes it's missing and starts to panic. She goes, that was my grandmother's. Oh no, who took it? Who did you say took it? Did you see them?
A gray shadowy figure took it.
And so as you are doing this, are you trying to be stealthy at all, or are you just straight up front with this?
Straight up front with this.
The rest of you, you see Hurley beginning to make motions northward towards the staff area. As she is breaking off, he's not really making that much attention, or drawing that much attention to it. What are you guys wanting to do in this moment?
Delana, aren't you coming?
No.
You see her next to another elven woman, a little younger looking than her, who seems to be frantic in a panic, worried state right now.
Hey, Hurley? Can you give us just a second, please?
Yeah, sure. I'll just be over by the Almirage ring toss. That's my favorite one. You go ahead. As you hear the carnival barkers like on their way north towards the staff area calling out, "Catch the dragon fairy by the tail, win a piece of its hoard." Other carnival barkers you hear again, "Stare the Cyclops, do you dare?" And other things like that. So as these are happening and he walks off, you hear some goblins tussling in the distance. You begin questioning her, and she has no idea what you're talking about other than this item is missing. She's unaware of the past minute that has gone by. All she knows is she was enjoying this, and now you're in her face. Not aggressively, but you're right here, and this thing is gone, and she's frantic. What do you guys want to do in this moment, if anything? She's looking for an answer, so she's about to start walking towards the bugbear, who seems to be figure of authority of some type to try to question him. Is there anything you want to do before she does this?
Just, I guess, walk up next to him and go, what happened? What's going on?
I saw a gray, shadowy figure take something out of her hair, and she was like in a daze. But the shadowy figure disappeared, and the item went poof in the air.
I'm gonna do a perception check just to see if I notice anything about this woman, aka something minor, just
Okay.
the wings part. 19 plus 5, so yeah, I noticed that she ain't got the fairy wings
You
on.
do notice that she does not have the butterfly wings that was
Oh, yeah,
in the
butterfly,
she's
yeah.
bought a ticket.
Yeah.
You
So-
say fairy, yeah, the butterfly, they're fairy wings.
Yeah. But I just look at her. I said, "Did you?" Very quietly ask her, "Did you pay for a ticket when you came in here?" Because I've noticed we've all had stuff disappear from us in the past when we didn't get tickets, and this is starting to make sense why things were missing from us at that particular time. So that would kind of explain it. You could probably talk to the bugbear dude over there right quick, Mr. Hurley, but not having a ticket, I want to be careful with that.
As you're telling that to her, roll a persuasion check.
Persuasion?
Yeah.
7.
7. Okay. Not necessarily a failure, right? We're just trying to figure out how much of success we have going on. You can tell by her mannerisms that she is kind of defensive at first whenever you're calling her out on not having paid for a ticket. And it's a natural reaction for people to want to lie. At first it seems kind of blatant or obvious, and then she kind of relaxes and she relents and lets you know she snuck in and she was just enjoying it. You can tell that she was just enjoying the lights, right? Because everything costs a punch. She was just sort of enjoying the show and the free attractions when this happened. So yes, she tells you she did not purchase a ticket, and she's still frantic. She is curious as to where her things went. But in this moment, it seems that there seems to be no answers. You see Hurley, off in the distance. She's concerned, but she sort of thinks to herself, I'll try Lost and Found. I remember because she remembered on the maps that you all have, because you are ticket-carrying members, the map where Lost and Found is, but she remembers there was a Lost and Found section. Sure, she's going to go over there and start looking. You guys are currently planning on walking over to the staff area. Right behind you is a human man, dressed just like Kettlestein was, right? Who is behind you, and as Burley begins walking off, lets you know that he is not going to follow you in there. He has other plans, but he definitely is going to meet up with, or she is definitely going to meet up with you whenever you're done. Whenever she'll keep an eye out, and whenever you guys start planning, she'll be there. Right? So, in this moment between, you hear in 30 minutes, just another half hour, the big top extravaganza begins. Make sure to get your seat. You can see in the distance to the north of the carnival where the big top is. You can see the lights of the spotlights sort of shining through the tent top. You can hear the carnival barkers along the way. You see Hurley towards the back end of it. You hear all sorts of things, button mushrooms, just one punch. Candied apple on a stick. You hear once again, catch a fairy dragon fairy by the tail and win a piece of its hoard. You hear people giving really bad poems. You see goblins wrestling. You You see this guy looks like a lumberjack, right? He's just got his pants and his boots on. He took his shirt off, and he's just wrestling with these two goblins. And he's trying to hold one down as the other one is just like clambering all around him and trying to knock him over until finally you see the Witchlight hand look and go, winner! And then the goblin's like, ah, and then the lumberjack just flexes, and then he reaches over and he gets like a lollipop off to the side. You see, you see all of this happening. What do you guys want to do in this moment?
Well, since we got some time to ourselves just for a moment, we might want to talk about what we're going to ask Mr. Witch and Mr. Light. We don't want to go in there without anything to ask.
That'd be you and him because me and.
Well, I assume y'all
No.
be right
We're
behind
going
us.
to do the big top. That's when we split off.
Right.
But when we're going to meet Mr. Light and Mike.
Mr. Witch.
Or Witch.
Yeah. Witch Light.
Which night?
So it's
Which
all
light?
of us right now.
Yeah.
We don't want to go in there just looking dumb and not have any questions to ask. What do we want to ask?
Well, we ask about what you saw,
Yeah.
if they understand what's going on
If
with
they-
that.
Or if they've ever seen the gray shadowy figure before.
Or they,
Remember, we
they
got to
know.
be precise
Oh, I
when
know.
we ask them.
Mhm.
Because they shut down anything, they'll shut it down instantly if we're not precise.
Yeah, I get that. I'm just trying to figure out what topics we want to talk about. We can worry about the wording later.
I say, first of all, we need to worry about the little pig girl mask
Mhm.
and about that. Because we have a little bit more information about that, but if we can figure out more about it, her trying to take people away.
Okay. So Pig Girl was on top of the agenda. I guess the dark figure lady, I think you said it was.
Mhm.
I guess that would be next, and then I guess about things going missing for everyone, even people that work here.
Including us. 'Cause
Well,
we have things missing too.
well, I think that was probably because of some of us didn't really buy tickets before.
Yeah.
But even the people who work here have stuff going missing. Now, do we want to try to be on their side, or do we want to try to put a stop to it?
I think we're going to have to start trying to be on their side from at the beginning and see how it goes from there. But because we need also to help. Who was it about the? Was it Kettlestein?
There was Candlefoot the Mime, Kettle Steam the Kinku,
Right. About the. I'm talking about the
Displacer Beast and the kid.
and
Durlagon the Displacer Beast.
the fairy or a fae that might have went through the mirror.
That's what we were talking about.
Yeah,
Pig
the,
Girl.
The pig girl.
Right. But what's the fae that went through it?
Nobody went through it.
Yeah, they did.
That was the Pig Girl.
That was-
No. What
that was-
about the fae that might be missing?
There is none. He didn't. He didn't go with her. You stopped her.
No,
No.
it's another halfling.
Uh.
He's talking about when Kettlestein was talking about
Oh,
something.
Tosh. No, not Tosh.
there's the sow pig.
Yeah, I know that part. That ain't got nothing to do with what I'm talking about. The girl right there. Uh-huh.
well,
There was a
Oh,
figure-
Zeblina.
Yes. There was a
Zebelina?
figure named Zobina.
Zelbina, yeah.
Zybillna, who is her patron, Kettlesteam's patron. She is a warlock, right? This is how she has her powers. She is the Archfey who rules the Feywild domain of Prismania. Okay. Kettlesteam, you'll be reminded, was convinced that something is amiss. She's lost touch with her, and that's a very discerning thought if a warlock loses touch with the one who gives them powers. You'll be reminded, Kettlesteam had overheard a conversation between Witch and Light that she had mimicked about, someone's going to find out about this, they'll shut us down. and Mr. Witch saying, hey, we agreed to this, right? We let the Hourglass Coven take what they want, and in return, we stay in business, right? That was a private conversation between the two of them. You'll be reminded that because of this Feywild pact and the terms of the pact with her patron, Kettlestein can't go to Prismere. That's why she's trying to figure out answers, because she can't get them herself. So that's what you remember from that.
Well, I think that's enough time. I think Hurley may start getting suspicious. We maybe just want to go ahead and head on.
Sounds good.
Birds of a feather, how about feathers of a bird? Step right up, guess how many feathers festoon this fiendish fowl as you're walking north. You notice he's making his way sort of the same side as the Hall of Illusions around the map to the north. Opposite the side that has the Lost and Found and the Calliope. You see him about halfway up. The carnival barker. This Almirage is no mirage. Adorn its horn with 2 or 3 rings to win a prize. And you see a little girl tossing a ring, and just as it's about to land, you see this little, it looks like a wooden statue of a bunny with a unicorn horn. And just as the ring's about to land, it just sort of like blinks over to the side. And you see people trying to catch the ring on it and move around. And finally, like you see someone land 2 rings on it, and they get super excited. And you notice your bugbear friend off to the side is kind of chuckling a little bit when he sees people miss. And he's like, "This is my favorite part. I take it you guys are all ready."
Sure.
Yeah, we're ready.
It's a shame. You sure you don't want to try any prizes?
Well, we don't want to keep Mr. Witch and Mr. Light.
You're right. We shouldn't. And so he starts making his way north, past all the carnival barkers and the offers for treats and prizes and whatnot. And he leads you to a circle of wagons. Before he even gets that far, he waves. You come up to it, this large wall of thorny vines. Like, you can tell through the bramble that there are cart wagons inside of this area, but it's like 8 feet tall and like really thick. You see popped balloons like hanging off of pieces of it. It's not inviting. There's no visible entrance to this place, and as you see him walking up, Burley kind of waves his hand, and you just see an opening form big enough for even a bugbear of his size to comfortably walk through. You see tangled in this area a cluster of wagons lit by lanterns. In this circle of wagons, he leads you. You see leaning up against a particularly ostentatious wagon is an aging clown with a painted grin on his face. He's puffing on a bubble pipe. You can just see the little bubbles floating up there, and he glares at you all as the bugbear who is ignoring this clown. Imagine like Joe Pesci in like royal green and purple gold, adorned like court jester, like clown outfit. Not happy, right? The only grin is painted on. This is a middle-aged, you see your Belly Burley ignoring this guy as he opens the door and ushers you inside. He opens the door to the wagon, and you see sitting inside of it Mr. Witch and Mr. Light.
What do they look like?
I will show you. They look like this.
An orc and a...
They are 2 Shadrakai elves. Delana, being an elf, would immediately notice there is a difference between them and her. If anyone would like to give me a history check or an insight check, I'll probably say history or insight. You get with advantage, Delana, because you're an elf.
Should I get to roll twice?
Yes.
It's on you. Insight. That's a 15.
So it's 22.
With a nat 20, okay, with a 22, you get that. Right. Shade Drakai elves, they're elves of the Shadow family. Right? They're not drow. They're just from a different. They're like the Fey realm kind of place. So they are darker. They're like the goth emo kids of the elves, right? And so it seems kind of out of place to see Mr. Light extremely cheery, just painted up, huge smile, like overwhelming, high-pitched voice, and then you see contrasted with that Mr. Witch, who he's dressed, he is a businessman, he is not trying to crack a joke, right? He's just there to keep the books and keep things straight. You can tell there's an obvious difference between the two of them. They welcome you in. You see the flamboyant elf grins ear to ear as he welcomes you into the wagon with a theatrical bow. Please come in. It's a delight to meet you all. I am Mr. Light, and this is my associate, Mr. Witch. He gestures to a stocky elf lounging on a bunk. Mr. Witch nods to you and doffs his top hat. What would you like to do?
Well, it's a pleasure to finally meet the magnificent duo that run this park.
Well, come in. Let's have this conversation with some comfort. He ushers you all in as Mr. Burley stands outside, nowhere near the clown that was by the door, who is still there, blowing on his bubble pipe. Thank you all for joining us. As he gestures over to his weather vane, I've heard good things have been happening with the four of you, and things have been staying good with the carnival, which has been quite a difficult task lately. I don't know what's been happening, but I know it was you, and we have come to express our thanks and gratitude. What can we do to make your stay even more enjoyable tonight?
Well, well, speaking on things that was trying to cause problems that we kept counteracting, I guess you could say. We found basically the root cause of a lot of it, but there's some stuff that just don't make sense. I was curious if y'all could help me out with that a little bit.
There's a lot of things in a carnival that don't make sense, especially one from the Feywild. Could you be more specific?
How about, I've noticed that if somebody don't have these lovely little wings on their back, they tend to have something always go missing. And one of us got to witness that happen shortly before we got here to somebody that was in the park. Anything going on with that? Because we would like to try to find out a way of maybe retrieving some of that stuff or trying to find it somehow or another.
As you're saying that, Mr. Light chimes in with I see. Unfortunately, forces are at work on the other side that are entirely beyond our control. You see, and as he begins to try to come up with what he's going to say, Mr. Witch steps in with, the wheel of time turns ever on. What's lost is lost. What's gone is gone.
But it's a different story when it becomes people missing.
That can be unfortunate. As he looks at you, it is rather unfortunate when it is people. Sometimes, well, as he begins to think what to say, Mr. Light steps in on top of that. You see, being part of the Fey realm, there are certain rules we still must oblige to. One of them being, and this one's a biggie, if something is to be got, something is expected to be given. With just the simple price of 8 silver, we offer what we may, but some choose to pay a different price.
But it's not just the carnival visitors. One of your workers up there in the Lost and Found, his son is missing.
We do try to stay vigilant. It is unfortunate when people do go missing. Unfortunately, forces are at work on the other side that are entirely beyond our control.
Oh, you mean the Hourglass Coven?
When you say that, roll a insight check. Roll an insight check.
4 plus 2. 6.
You all may roll insight checks as well.
11.
12.
We're bad at this.
I'm a 20.
Whenever you mention that, they don't act as if they're trying to avoid that topic. They just seem to continue kind of talking in roundabout ways that don't directly address the subject at hand.
Let me guess, they're listening in, aren't they?
There are many things that happen here. We're the ones who do the listening usually, but there are often ears everywhere.
Well, I say this, since you are having problems with this coven, and people are going missing.
Especially a Fey patron.
Yes, a young child that has done nothing wrong. I think that needs to be dealt with. If you're having problems, maybe we can help figure some things out.
Whenever you say Fey patron, you kind of you notice a little stir in them. They seem a little interested. What do you mean, Fey patron?
I was tasting speaking.
Zelbina.
We heard of a Fey patron, Zelbina, just up and disappearing, and her familiar just can't feel her anymore. Like she's just gone from the world.
Familiar? What?
Her
No.
warlock? Are you speaking of that Kinku, that Metalstorm kettle stream?
Who?
Anyway, Zelbina, this patron you speak of, is in fact
I just carry
of
buttons.
Prismere. She is also the patron of this carnival, and it is unfortunate, but we have had no contact with her for quite some time.
And as far as Kettlesting goes, I think we got that dealt with and under control. But we're kind of a group of people that we feel compelled to try to help out and fix things. And hence why your park's doing so great right now. And we'd like to keep it that way for y'all. Because y'all bring us a lot of fun, a lot of stuff to do. People get out. And it's really cool out here. We'd like to help the best we can with whatever problems there are going on.
It's also something compelling us in the back of our minds, because since we've been here, before we even met, you told us that we was very special guests and all of our tickets were already paid for, like someone knew.
Well, that was Veneer.
Oh, someone bought your tickets. If everyone could roll me a persuasion with advantage real quick.
Nat 20.
Okay.
So it'd be 21 for me.
15.
17.
You see Mr. Witch reach into his waistcoat and pull out a very ornate golden pocket watch that you see attached to him. He opens it, and after approximately 6 seconds, closes it back up and gives a nod to Mr. Light, signifying that it is time to end this wonderful occasion so that they can progress with the order of the night. As they begin wrapping things up, Mr. Light stands up and says, Please join us at the Big Top Extravaganza in just but a little bit longer. What, another 15 minutes? 15 and a half minutes from Mr.
No,
Witch.
we're not leaving until we get this answer, this question answered.
Oh, please, which question was that again?
Why were we so special? Why was our tickets bought? Why is things happening? And basically, why are we compelled to help y'all?
I do not know who's purchased your tickets for you. I'm sure you are special. Everyone at the WitchLight Carnival is special.
But Mr. Veneer told us specifically that you were both expecting us, and we all have never met before.
Then I believe that was probably a patron who may have specifically asked to remain anonymous. If they happen to have even let us know who they were. It's odd, sometimes people trying to garner fame seem to try to fill the seats. Bards and such, odd creatures, I leave them to be in the feasting orchard. But really, we must finish up. I don't know who's bought your tickets, and I cannot tell you any more about these things of missing people that I, too, do not know of, but wish I could help. As you see them motioning towards Burley and the clown outside to, please, each of you, let me share a special gift as he motions to the clown. Thaka, would you be kind enough to just do the thing? And you see him begrudgingly set his bubble pipe off to the side. He's blowing balloons that he begins taking and wrapping around, and he looks at you and he says, pick an animal.
What about a jackrabbit?
A jackrabbit. You say that, and as you are saying it, it's like it's already half of a bunny with two beautifully big ears. He hands it to you. He starts blowing up another one. He's pick an animal, and he looks at each of you as he's blowing up another animal.
Goose.
Goose. You see, he starts pulling out about 15 long white tubes of balloons, blowing up all sorts of different animals. Pick an animal.
Wolf.
A wolf. Pick an animal. A pig. So as all these different animals are being made within like what seems like 30 seconds each, you each begin having, you're just amazed at the wonder of these great balloon animals as, yes.
Man. See if there's anything that catches my eye
Yes.
in the room.
Give me a perception check.
17 plus perception is wisdom, so plus 1, so 18.
18. With that 18, I'm going to tell you what you see whenever we start up the next episode. Thank you guys for watching. Self-critical. See you all next time. Goodbye.
Bye.